Hey, and thanks for watching our newest pad video. So we are working on a 1992 Ford Ranger, manual transmission, 5-speed manual, little 4-cylinder, 2.3 liter engine. So the vehicle was brought in, main concern was a misfire or running rough. Seems like the engine intermittently loses power, starts misfiring. So anyway, our diagnosis led us to the ignition control module. This is also known as, could be known as the ignition diagnostic module, but more so known as the ignition control module. This is the old one. I've got it removed. The engine computer sends a signal to this ignition control module. This ignition control module sends its signal to, right here, the ignition coils. This is what tells the coils to fire the cylinders for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's like a 3-step process. Engine module, ignition module, coils, spark plug. So maybe a 4-step process. That's how the system works in a roundabout way. So wanted to show you the old one we've taken off. You can see where it mounts to the side of the intake manifold here. I've already got it cleaned up, sanded. I hit that with some like 120 grit sandpaper. Crucial that these new modules have a really solid, clean ground, and that's their ground contact right there. So you can see the white paste on the back of the old one. That's just dielectric grease. And that's what we're going to do with this new one. This is the new module. Look how nice and clean. So metal plate, we're going to take some dielectric grease. We're going to coat this surface right here with dielectric grease. We're going to bolt it back up, plug it in, clear our fault codes, go down the road in it. So you may be asking, what is DIS, Motorcraft DIS? DIS stands for Distributorless Ignition System. That's just saying that, hey, this engine is not equipped with a distributor, which is typical of ignition systems, certainly older ones. This is the box and the bag that it came out of. We ordered this part from our local Ford dealer. Really just don't want to take the chance on the aftermarket stuff when it comes to electronics. But after we get this thing put back together, get it down the road, warmed up, may even show you a little video for how we tested this vehicle prior to diagnosing the module, where we placed a vacuum gauge, and we'll kind of explain that a little bit here shortly. All right, so I want to pick up on this same 92 Ford Ranger and kind of give you an idea of one of the steps that I have taken to properly diagnose this faulty ignition module. We've got the new module in, running perfect, check engine lights out. Now, the fault code that was stored in this vehicle was 224, and that was for erratic ignition diagnostic module or ignition control module input to the processor. So, erratic input to the engine module from the ignition module. The first thing I wanted to do is clarify any mechanical issues, and this was the way I went about it with a vacuum gauge. So I wanted to see how much vacuum the engine had. If it had an intake leak, it'd be real low vacuum, right? So if it had exhaust restrictions, maybe much higher. So if you take a pan in on the gauge here, I like to see personally a vacuum between 16 and 21 inches of vacuum. So we're right in that 18 mark. In a perfect world, now this vehicle has a 5-digit odometer. So it's showing like 7,800 miles. That may be 100,000, 107,000, maybe 207,000, I don't know. But it's got a lot of miles on it. This right here tells me, since we have about 18 inches of vacuum, that we don't have an intake leak. So I'm not concerned about broken vacuum hoses or boots intake leaks. Now, in a perfect world, the needle would be very still, very stationary, right on 18 or 20. Lines are bouncing around like that. That comes with mileage. So this right here is indicative what shows me of like maybe valve stem seals or valve stem guides. Not going to affect how the vehicle runs going down the road, but it will certainly show up on a vacuum gauge. So just the smallest little deviation in vacuum. It's very typical of a high mileage engine that will have worn vacuum seals or intake valve or exhaust valve seals or valve guides. So as you can see right now how it's still staying around that 18 to 20 mark, and that's where we want to see it. But that's the reason it's bouncing. Not a big concern, certainly not related to the misfires or rough running that we had prior to replacing the ignition module. But anyway, we made this video for our client. For anyone else that wants to watch it, we appreciate you subscribe so you'll get those notifications every time we come up with a new video. And thank you for watching.